You bring so much peace and reassurance into this person's life with a deep breath. It feels like this is somebody that is able to relax and just be themselves around you, which doesn't usually happen so quickly in connections, or they've been able to allow different facets of themselves to be known by you for like the first time. Like nobody's ever seen this side of them before. This is something that you calm their inner child as well. Just your presence is very soothing, very relaxing. The level of balance that you've created within yourself really encourages this person to very naturally kind of enter a state of balance within themselves as well, which has helped to quiet certain fears that they may have had coming into the connection with you, as far as like if they were, aware of certain patterns from their past, like types of people that they had gravitated towards, familiar circumstances that they always ended up in romantically speaking. They tried to choose different people, but somehow it was always the same person, just with a different face. You, on the other hand, have shown them, have provided them with certain reassurances that like they broke free from a cycle. They broke free of a pattern, that you are who you say you are. You're the real deal. You are authentically somebody who is good for this person. You help to calm their nervous system. This person gets butterflies, but not in a way that sort of speaks to, the makings of like the beginnings of a trauma bond, or, codependency. But this is something where it's almost like those butterflies bring this person to a place of reassurance that they are open for whatever can unfold between the two of you, because whether the energies between the two of you are very like high and lively, or whether it's kind of a lull, it's kind of quiet between the two of you, they feel that you've merged very well with one another. The ebb and flow between the two of you is real, and it provides them with a sense that like this is a healthy connection. This person might almost be thinking to themselves as well, I think I have finally entered into a healthy partnership, perhaps for the first time. So this can be something where like their higher self, or they might even be getting a lot of signs and synchronicities from their spirit guides and ancestors that are congratulating this person on all the hard work that they have done to heal from their past, or to like turn over a new leaf in their life, or to sort of reach for something more, avoid certain triggers, or certain kind of like notorious kind of like habits or red flags, or things that they used to be drawn to in terms of a previous type, romantically speaking, that just ended up in toxicity, time and time again. This is somebody that has changed a lot of things up for themselves. They're expecting more. They're calling something better in. They have kind of pushed aside circumstances and opportunities that didn't feel right, that didn't align. They waited patiently, and then they met you. And so they're getting a lot of applause from the universe at this time to continue to, develop this connection with you, to continue to trust in where things are going very naturally between the two of you, to continue to allow themselves to settle into this reality that, yeah, something good has finally happened for them in the love department. We also have a grand symphony. So this person loves to talk to you about anything and everything. This person loves to also listen to you talk. So if you're somebody that like you're a storyteller, you start talking about something, and you go off on tangents. You may be very descriptive, very passionate, very very emotional when you are even just kind of like telling little incidents about your day, or talking things that you're about things that you're like excited about, or that matter to you, or different goals that you're working towards. This person loves to see the way that you light up when you are speaking about things, that are in alignment with you. And even in the times when you are talking about things that you're kind of critical of, like, this is what I would change about circumstances, or this happened and it really pissed me off, and just the way in which you kind of depict yourself, you don't hold back. You're very authentic, you're very expressive. This is something that it feels like this person finds to be very endearing about you. This is something that is encouraging them to kind of be very honest and very forthright in their communication as well. That you've set the bar very high, but yet it's a reachable standard in terms of like, yeah, we don't have to pretend with one another. You don't have to sugarcoat things. You don't have to kind of like be somebody that you're not. Like, just sort of let it all out. Let yourself be known. Don't be afraid to, kind of express yourself in whatever way that is most comfortable. It feels like you've even honored this person's, maybe they're like an introspective person, so kind of their need for silence, or where they're just kind of comfortable in an observer mode. They're just kind of comfortable listening at times, kind of taking everything in. That unlike previous people that they've been with, you're not someone that is like pushing them, sort of like, what's wrong? Why are you so quiet? Why are you so distant? It's like you're able to read that silence within them at times. And you are somebody that doesn't kind of like miss a beat as far as like, okay, that's the position that you're taking. And so I'm still going to be myself in the midst of that. So the blend between the two of you, even in the times where it's kind of like you're more talkative and they're more on that listener mode, or even vice versa, you are holding space for this person to express themselves, which it feels like is very refreshing, because they may have been kind of like used to sort of being the therapist in the relationship, dealing with people, that had a lot of trauma, were just kind of like dumping on them emotionally. And when it came time, for their own needs or to, express things about themselves, there was no patience for that. It's like you also like ask about this person's day, like, how was your day? How are you? And it's not just kind of like something that is kind of a polite bit of conversation. It's like you're actively interested. You actively want to know things. You've asked them about their interests. You have looked towards them with kind of the eagerness and the enthusiasm of like, teach me about yourself. I want to learn about you. I want to know about who you are so that we can find better ways to connect with one another. And this is something that is very refreshing to this person. It's like, what? You really want to know who I am? You really want to hear me kind of like talk about these kind of like random passions or interests or things that I know about, experiences that I have? Like, I've never had somebody hold space for me like that before. I've never had anyone like ask questions about me before. I've always been the one to kind of like have to hold space for someone else to be in the spotlight. So this is something that, the whole range of your communication, it feels like this is something that is really reassuring this person. It's a check mark in the positive column as far as incentivizing them to continue to expand and grow with you, and explore kind of like the deeper layers of what can happen in the connection with you. Have quieting the mind. So this person has experienced already like some telepathy between the two of you, deja vu between the two of you. They are starting to kind of explore the possibility of like, hey, this is more than just an ordinary connection. There's something where we have like an energetic bond with one another, and I don't quite understand it, but it's also something that doesn't make me entirely nervous or scared because it's so unusual. It's actually kind of intriguing, or it provides them a little bit of added reassurance that it's like we're not just connecting on the level of how we are meeting up in the here and now, but that this is almost something that's drawing their attention to like higher possibilities of the closeness that can develop between the two of you over time. They may have seen other connections, like people in their lives that, like married couples who were together for decades, that were just kind of like finishing each other's sentences, or having that sort of like deep and intuitive knowing, that sensitivity, towards like that loved one, that person that they took a long time to know really, really well. And there's a sense that like already immediately between the two of you, there are the first kind of glimmers that that is starting to happen in this situation, which it feels like that is something that has always been kind of like a secret wish within this person. I wish that I would be able to have a connection where, even if we are at a distance from one another, I'm still able to kind of like pick up on times when you are in distress. I'm still able to like feel your love from afar and send you love from afar. And the times where I might not be able to always be there, always be available, always be communicating. So this again is kind of like an aspect or element between the two of you that is starting to develop, or is coming into their awareness at this particular point in time, that they also see as like a very positive indicator, kind of like a confirmation from, again, like ancestors, spirit guides, their angels, the universe, that like, yeah, this is a circumstance that is in alignment with their highest good. It's like birds of a feather. So this person feels that you two are very like-minded. Even if you've come from very different worlds, very different perspectives, very different experiences, you've arrived at the same place within yourself. You have the same eagerness and curiosity as far as like what can happen in this love story, what the future holds. There may be like bigger goals and dreams, long-term goals and dreams that you've shared with them that are very much in alignment with something that sounds like a good idea for them, or it matches and aligns with something something, again, that might have been almost like a hidden wish or a hidden desire that up to this point in time, they hadn't like focused much effort on kind of like building that singularly, because it's like, okay, that's a dream that would best be shared by two people. And I don't have anyone else that is kind of excited about those same things, likes those same things, has that same perspective, or has that same kind of vision of what like happily ever after, or things that would be fun, things that would be a good time. I haven't connected with anyone yet that aligns with that. So it was something that they almost had kind of just like put on the back burner, or they discounted that as like an option of what they could experience in life and with another person. And you've come into their life and there's a sense of like, hey, maybe those dreams that I kind of like kept tucked away, or I've just kind of been thinking about in the back of my mind, but I hadn't really had the motivation to try to explore, to try to build, to think that it was a realistic goal, that I could be in that kind of energy of paradise and have someone by my side, through that experience. You feel to be the type of person though that it's like, I think you'll get that. I think that you will understand that. I think that we align very precisely in that manner. It's almost like you bring different kind of like skills, qualities, energies in that are kind of making a more well-rounded idea, or like a reality that can manifest as far as what that kind of future planning, those future goals are concerned. So it feels like this is somebody that's already starting to project their consciousness out into the future. They're starting to not just daydream about like, oh, the next time they see you, or kind of what's going to happen next month. But this is somebody that's like, if things keep going this way, where are we going to be with one another in 10 years? What's the future going to be like? Maybe you're the person that I grow old with. Maybe you are the person that I spend my life with. And what would that look like? We also have seeing beyond. So this person loves your intuitive nature. They are not intimidated by any kind of like psychic abilities you have or sensitivities you have. They find that to be very like sexy and very attractive, actually, that you are such a sensitive person, that you feel things so deeply, or you are such a compassionate person, or again, maybe you are somebody who is psychically gifted. You could resonate as an empath as well. And so the idea of that kind of like exploring more of the sensual aspect of a connection with you, it's something that it's like, I've never experienced something with a person like you. I don't know what that would be like, how we would respond to one another's needs, wants, and desires, what new kind of like aspects of those things could even be explored, because it feels like this person as well is like psychic, they're intuitive, they are sensitive, they also may be an empath, but they have maybe even lacked kind of the terminology to properly describe that, or it's something where they kind of like kept that part of themselves hidden, or just reserved. They didn't talk about it with other people. They never found anyone that was going to look at that as like a redeemable quality. They might have encountered people who were kind of scared of that, or made fun of that, and so they've just kind of like kept that to themselves. But with you and in this situation, it's kind of like, okay, maybe this is something that even if we're not calling it by name out loud, we can explore in that kind of territory of feelings, beyond the emotions, beyond the passion, but in this kind of like energetic sense between the two of you. This feels like also you've been able to kind of intuit sort of like times where this person maybe was like having a bad day, and right at that moment you reached out, or things that you have said that have aligned with kind of like secret sort of like hopes, things that they were repeating kind of quietly to themselves, and then you spoke that out loud to them. It was just the right thing to say. It was just at the right moment that has given this person some sort of reassurance that the connection between the two of you that still needs to be developed more, but it goes far beyond what meets the eye. And again, this is something that this is not somebody that is like intimidated at all by that kind of like sensitive psychic nature, but this is something like, this is really delighting them that this is a part of you, because it's like, wow, okay, this would be a new experience, and not just kind of like, I need to open my mind and see it would be to be in a romantic connection with someone like you, but this is something where it's like, I never even thought that it would be possible for someone to connect with me on such a deep level in that way, that it would invite this aspect of me up out of the shadow and more to the forefront. Yeah, we also have feeling the world. So this person definitely wants to create more material experiences with you. It feels like they spend a lot of time in their emotions, a lot of time in that feeling space. They think about you a lot, like in between your interactions with one another. They daydream about you a lot. But this is somebody that definitely wants to, create actionable steps forward so that you can have those beautiful experiences in the here and now, so you can continue to develop your interactions with one another. You can continue to kind of like honor your own personal need for space and, you know, kind of tending to your lives individually, but they see you as somebody that, unlike previous connections where, you know, they might have like had to make a lot of compromises, a lot of sacrifices, they might have lost themselves in previous connections and had to like find themselves again after those situations came to an end. It's like with you, they meet a reflection of themselves. It's kind of like, oh, I see who you are and I can still see myself in the midst of this. So this is something that this person really feels, that it's like this connection between the two of you, it provides a lot of reassurances because there's enough encouragement or enough respect for who each of you are and what you have going on in your lives, that it's like, I don't feel that I'm going to be kind of like led astray or, you know, knocked off my square that I've worked so hard to kind of like create for myself, or you know, place myself upon a pedestal in my own life, because I see you as someone who is operating on a similar frequency, on a similar vibration. You got your own thing going on that might be different than what I have going on, but we meet in the middle in a way that this person sees that like experiences with you accentuate and enhance the life that they've created for themselves. They see you as a good addition to their life, and hopefully they want to be a good addition to yours as well. And so in order to ensure that, it feels like this is somebody that wants to you know, have more meaningful experiences with you, have more time with you, definitely develop more like intimacy and closeness, but also things that you do that are just kind of like platonic, just sort of surface level. They want to build in all aspects of this interaction between the two of you, so that you can continue to kind of evolve beyond where you are with one another at this point, because this person sees long-term potential between the two of you. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.